Wake up, goddammit!
Hold on. There we go. Hey there. Oh, don't even tell me. How's that? That's better. So I've got this. Oh, having switched to a better system, I get bigger issues. Uh, every once in a while, this audio interface is crackly. And fortunately, at least for right now, the solution is to simply unplug it, plug it right back in. It's like a reboot. The the other solution that the company gave me was to use the other USB-C connection as additional power. And I do that. And it's still doing this. So we might be taking it back. I don't know. Anyway, it's Tuesday, big day today for a lot of us. Tonight, we have special coverage of the debate starting at 7:30 with us, 8 o'clock for the debate. There'll be a half hour pregame. Not really sure yet who's joining. We're going to throw a bunch of invites out and see who bites. If not, I can ramble for 30 minutes. No, actually, there's some good talent that actually is planning on joining us tonight. So, but big news. Oh, also, the other big thing about today is we are ending on time in 56 minutes because I have to shoot down over to Clearwater and bring on 4 more stations, possibly 6. We will be covering by the end of this week the entire Tampa Bay and Nature Coast down through Sarasota and Manatee County. We're growing. This show, barely 6 months old. Mastiff Media, formerly Yerg's Media and Yerg's Radio and all that, not even a year old yet. And we are, as my coach put it, shout out to John J. Wiley, self-syndicating. And even that might be coming to a stop. Some sad news, though. Yesterday morning, passing of a legend. We did a little tribute to him. to start off today. And by now, you probably figured out if you don't know already, James Earl Jones died yesterday at the age of 83. He's going to be our, at the end, our morning motivation. We have a quote from him that's fit me, as all the quotes we have fits my life and is an influence on me. Obviously, I found it for today. It's not part of the collection yet, but certainly will be. As such, I don't have the visual for those of you watching. I think I do have in one of the tabs, I think I do have a photo of him from where I got the quote. I think you know what James Earl Jones looks like. And if you don't, here's what I want you to think about. Think about Darth Vader, because he was the voice of Darth Vader. I think everybody knows that. If you don't, he was the voice of Darth Vader. Go watch the movie. You'll be so amazed when you realize he's Darth Vader. David Prowse was an English bodybuilder who was in the costume and actually spoke the lines during the course of filming and was uber pissed off when he found out it wasn't going to be his lines. Anyway, James Earl Jones there. Mufasa, the dad in the movie, in the cartoon movie, and the Broadway play. Well, actually, he wasn't in the Broadway play. He was in the animated cartoon by Disney of The Lion King. He was the dad that gets run over by a stampede of buffalo or whatever they were, the African buffalo things. You've heard him say, "This is CNN, Bell Atlantic," then on to AT&T with, I forget who that was. I forget who that, Instagram is such a pain in the ass. Sorry, I just realized I had not yet gone live on Instagram. And now it's not even caught up. I don't know what the hell is. There we go. Well, that's from 10 minutes ago. All right. Well, it's there. So, yeah, rest in peace. Other things, too. Obviously, as you heard from the intro, Field of Dreams, Terrence Mann, a writer, was the character he played there, and probably one of the most popular monologues in film. What you heard today, I was looking at different clips and this movie site and YouTube and wherever. All the clips, of course, had the annoying brother-in-law who's trying to get Ray to sell the farm so he can and his buddies can build houses on it and not share proceeds with Ray and his own sister. But I found the thing that Major League Baseball did, where they start off with James Earl Jones and then they go through a series. That's what you heard, for those of you. And I didn't share the video. So the link will be in the show notes, of course. And it was a series of major league players who did sections of the speech. And they did that for, I think it was 2015 or 2016. I forget. It was on the video. Welcoming everybody back to opening day, presuming there may have been like a lockout or a strike the year before. So they did do a little ass kissing, or they just did a nice season intro. But yeah, James Earl Jones dead at the age of 93. We're going to be talking about two different poll predictions. One is calling a landslide for Trump. And of course, the other is calling a decisive victory for Harris. We're going to be following that this week and every week till the election with updates every Friday. This Friday, we're going to have kind of a chopped up ad hoc version of it, but because Blake is going to be out. But moving forward, he's going to be tracking the actual polls themselves. I'm going to be tracking some of the keys, what's called keys to the White House, who we're going to talk about later. Dr. Alan Lichtman is a political scientist who has predicted accurately 9 out of the last 10 presidential elections. He even predicted Trump the first time. The one he got wrong was actually Bush v. Gore. And he kind of sort of got that one right. If it wouldn't have been for what many people, and I'm not picking a side on that one, because I actually voted for Bush, so we kind of won. But he picked Al Gore, who, if you remember, had the popular vote, just like Hillary, but did not win the Electoral College. And I constantly say, oh, well, we got to disband the Electoral. No, you got to get off your ass and you got to go campaign in those battleground states, the purple states, the ones that you think you've got. Hillary said it. Where with Gore, I think I should have been claiming a loss there. Just simply because if it came down to when can we stop or when must we stop counting votes? And because of the decision by the high court, it came down to Bush with the lead in Florida, giving him the electoral votes, the electoral delegates, the Electoral College delegates, and subsequently the Electoral College. And I kind of was scratching my head, like they were in time. Just because you can't get them all counted didn't make sense. But if you're following Supreme Court decisions, like some recent ones, you'll know that their rulings often don't make sense unless you're on that winning side. So September 10th is that big day. It's 11:13, 99.1 WDJY, America One Radio, 1490. I don't know about WDJY yet. 1490 will be joining us for the full pregame and the debate and postgame and whatever they allow us to be on. They're not charging our production company for the time. They're appreciating that we're doing it. None of the others that I know, with the exception of Rainbow Radio and Yerg's Radio, of course, because they're both with Mastiff Media, owned by Mastiff Media. I'm going to reach out to America One Radio because I'm sure they would have an interest in it. I don't know what they've got scheduled. So, yeah, we'll see. But, yes, so some poll differences we're going to talk about next. Hang out till the end. Morning motivation, like I said, is going to be from James Earl Jones. And first up is Pierre's Pot. And that same good citizen is, of course, James Earl Jones. Pierre's Pot is something we do every day as a tribute to a kind of a mentor, inspiration of mine, Pierre Robert from 93.3 WMMR in Philadelphia. This guy has been with them. I mean, there's multiple reasons to love this guy. He's been with them since 1981. He has been through 2 Volkswagen minivans, just like the one in Field of Dreams, actually. First one named Minerva. The second one named Minerva 2, creative. We have a minivan in the shop. Well, it's not in the shop yet. It's going to back in the shop. You're aware that we just fixed 2 flat tires and never had a spare, but it's getting wrapped to promote Mastiff Media, Yerg's Radio, Rainbow Radio, all of them, and any of the network stations that we're affiliated with. So that's kind of exciting. I'm psyched for that. So we're going to have our own minivan, just like Minerva. But Pierre, your basic hippie, 69 years old, I think now, 43 years at MMR. And he does a thing where he picks a good citizen, as he calls them, a listener, and gives them a tribute with a morning sauce. Our tribute, as you probably figured out with what'll be the morning motivation and our first story, our tribute today with Pierre's Pot is James Earl Jones, an amazing actor who went through, I think, 6 or 7 decades of acting, another one, a career player, and just some of the other roles and some of the iconic movies he's been in, from Roots to, obviously, Field of Dreams, the Star Wars franchise, Lion King, so much else. Definitely we're gonna miss that guy. So rest in peace, James. The Sandlot, another baseball movie. He played a now blind former New York Yankee who played with George Herman Ruth, or Babe Ruth, and gave the kids a autographed ball from the Babe. So today, the toast of the morning sauce in your direction, bud. Rest in peace. Okay. Up next, we're going to start into the 2 different poll predictions. And it's really kind of comical. I've been saying, don't listen to polls. They are skewed. They are much, much more biased than what you think. And this is perfect evidence of it. 538 covers many different polling outlets, agencies, venues, platforms, news agencies, whatever. However, their guy, I guess he's the founder of it, has made some accurate predictions with his, and to his credit, it's more than just, when he makes his predictions, it's more than just the numbers of those. Oh, sorry, I didn't sleep well last night. It's more than just those polled. And here's the numbers, the end. He looks at economy. He looks at some things that they've done and takes into some analytical thinking, which I like. But I've always suspected, and now I think I'm kind of convinced more so, that 538 is not as impartial as what they like to tell you. And the reason for that is not only because they've chosen, let me get the right one up here. Not only because they've chosen Trump to win this time around again, like 2016, which I don't think they picked, by the way, but they're choosing him in a landslide. And sorry, but that just ain't happening. Here on the screen, for those of you watching, for those listening, I got you. On the screen right now is their predictions from 2022, where they lost miserably. Republicans are slightly favored to win the Senate. Didn't happen. Republicans are slightly favored to win the House, and that's exactly what happened. Slightly won the House. But that Senate thing never, as much as that majority was not much either, it actually wasn't close. It was really decisive on the particular rates that set up that majority. Particular races, I mean, that set up that majority. Here's some of the polling that they've done. Now, this isn't the claim by the owner. This is some of the actual polling, and you see who's done it. And like in the first one from September 3rd to the 9th, they polled 1,000. Like LV is likely voters. RV is registered voters. I have no idea what the A stands for. Active Vote did a national poll of 1,000 likely voters, putting Harris at 51, Trump at 49, up by 2 points. That's a national poll that ended September 8th. Another general election poll, 3 of them actually, all 3 by a company called Big Village. All 3 have Harris winning from anywhere from 1,500 likely voters to over 2,000 likely voters. Oh, actually, no, sorry. 1,500 and change likely voters, 1,700 and change registered voters. And I have no idea what that A stands for, but there's over 2,000 in that one. And it can't be an average because 1,500 and 1,700 does not equal 2,000. So I don't know what that is. Yeah, I don't know what that is unless, I don't know. But those 3 polls range from 3 to 5 points. 5, 4, and 3. Next one's Virginia. This is a bit more decisive. Those polls range from 7 to 10 point lead for Harris. North Carolina, there's 3 polls that they've got showing Harris winning 2 out of 3, the third being even. So again, these are really pointing towards Harris. It's the owner of this website who's chosen Trump by a landslide. This is not a landslide for either one. And if I'm not using the map today, I will later. I figured out how I'm going to do that. What the hell? Let's when I'm going to do is stop sharing. For those of you watching, I'm going to stop sharing just that window. I'm actually going to share the screen. I'm going to put 2 browsers in it. Note to self to have this ready for tonight instead of trying to figure it out. What I'm going to do is cover up all my folders. All right, here we go. That was at news sources. Yeah. Interactive map, 2024 electoral votes. Okay, so there we go. What you're seeing on your screen, and for those of you in your car, just listen up. I got you. There's a map of the U.S., most of which is either brown, red, or blue. Little bit is actually brown. That's the 1, 2, three, four, five, six, seven battleground states that are up in the air. That would be moving west to east: Nevada, Arizona, Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania, and then down into the southeast, North Carolina and Georgia. And when it comes to being a toss up, being a battleground state, Florida and Texas are not far behind. They're light red, pink even. I think this one though only goes. Yeah, this only has two shades. This map only has two shades. So, according to this, which is that one? Virginia. Yeah, they got Virginia for Harris, and I think it's pretty decisive, but we'll leave it at the lighter blue. One of the other maps has three shades of red and three shades of blue. Um, and actually, it's this one. They just don't have any up right now. Okay. So I'm going to change something. Florida is red, but it's not the middle or dark red that a lot of people are saying. Same thing with Texas. Um, she's farther behind, and that's something I'm actually reached out to try to talk to Debbie. I can't pronounce her last name. It's a hyphenated name. The second hyphen is Powell. But she's a former congresswoman down here in Florida who is now running against Rick Scott. God love her. I hope she does it. Get that site. He's lying grossly about abortion. And I saw a video where she talks about how they were both at the University of Miami. And he's talking about post-birth abortions where they crack the baby's skull. Crack the skull of a live baby. That is murder. And it's not what these doctors are doing. And fortunately, the students picked up on it. And she spoke next and cleared that up and said, no, that's BS. So, yeah. And that's just one. I mean, he wasn't successful as a governor. He's useless as a U.S. senator. And God forbid he become the majority leader. Because, Mitch McConnell is on his way out. But Florida's closer. Florida may be the middle red, perhaps, but Texas, wow, Lion Ted is only like 2 points ahead of Allred, who is a former NFL player, I think also a former congressman, and he's not far behind. And we've got enough time. He can close that gap and change it. It's already well within the margin of error. So nobody really knows what's going to happen on election day. And so that's why I recolored both Florida and Texas. Back up here, Virginia. Yeah, I mean, that's for Harris. North Carolina. This one has it for Harris. North Carolina. Just the fact that it's close in North Carolina is saying something. But the two most recent polls as of the 8th, which is Sunday, this past Sunday, in the third one, they're even. In the other two, she has a 3-point lead in each of them. Doesn't say what the margin of error is for these. So I don't know if that's in or out of it. Usually it's anywhere from 2 to 5 points for the margin of error. If this is a 2-point margin of error, then it's a little bit more decisive. But Yeah, North Carolina in her favor. And we'll scroll down a little bit. So right now, it's with everything that's already decided. And when we say already decided, nobody started voting yet. It's just this is how we know poll after poll after poll how we definitely think the state is going to go. Another possible toss up, I'm going to recolor this one, is Montana. Believe it or not. Yeah. So North Carolina for Harris. Georgia, this one is saying Trump. And I've seen some others just the opposite. But we'll go middle red with, actually, no, pink light for, because it's only 3 or 4 points. The other one's even. We can't go that dark. We didn't go that dark in blue. And it's almost identical. He's got a little bit stronger in the second poll, but that's it. Wisconsin is favored towards Harris, so that's cool. It's another battleground state, and she's going to wind up sweeping the Great Lakes, I think. Texas is for Trump. I don't think that 9 points is as close as what they're, or I think it's less than 9 points. But Texas is going to get, Trump's going to get 40 electoral, which we already have counted. So right now we're at 252 for Harris, 235 for Trump as we move through. Pennsylvania, oh, they did. Okay. I thought that they called this one for Trump. Some of the polls are, most of the ones that I think are more reliable aren't. They're going Harris for this. And it's still thin, still in or close to the margin of error, but it's like baseball. If it's 99% out, it's 100% in. And so that sends her right there over 270. We don't even finish with Arizona, Nevada, or Michigan. So it's looking, as of this past week, I think it's looking pretty comfortable. And we'll talk about Dr. Lichtman after the break. But she's got 3 out of the 4 in Maine, 1 out of the 5 in Nebraska. And so those are obviously key. New Hampshire was possible towards Trump. Everybody's now saying in fact, he gave up on New Hampshire. So that could be even a darker blue, the middle blue. But right now we'll just leave it lighter. Gives her 181 solid blue states. Well, electoral delegates from blue states. 40, suggesting blue, and 50 leaning blue, for a total of 271. And we still haven't looked at 3 battleground states. So this one's also got, after Pennsylvania, Ohio, 8 points for Trump. I don't think it's going to be that big. A lot of people in Ohio are pissed. I think the Senate's going to go to the Dems. That's looking that way. The same website actually has the Senate going to the Dems. It's going to be hard for that not to be consistent. Why would the Senate go to the Dems and Trump get the state? If he does, I don't think it's going to be that red one either. I think it's going to be a lighter red. It's still good 17 points. But right now, it does actually indicate. I just don't think it's going to be that big. I don't think it's going to be the 8-point spread that they're suggesting here either. Nevada is even. Open this up a little bit. Nevada is even. So we'll let that go for now, and we'll see. We'll go both ways with it and show you what could possibly happen. Minnesota, which we already have counted for, is Harris by 7. Michigan is one we're still missing. This one's saying 49-46 in favor of Harris. And that's also a slim margin, but it's enough. Again, we're just looking for the margin. Maryland, we got on here already. That's a strong Harris state. Florida, this one I like a little bit more. It's only got Trump by 2. And just everything I'm seeing here, my take when we do these surveys and we examine these polls on the Fridays, and I'll do them like this during the week if there's like some big changes. But one of the things I look at are some other societal issues that do or do not happen. And what I mean by that is when I started moving, the process of moving to the Tampa Bay, I started making trips here in 2020, right after the 2020 election. And so Trump won Florida. DeSantis was already elected governor. He would get reelected 2 years later. And I just in driving around, even in Hillsborough County, which is where the city of Tampa is, Pinellas County, which is where St. Pete and Clearwater, among others, are, both liberal, progressive, left-leaning counties. Nearby Pasco, Polk, Manatee, and anything else spread out beyond that is brain farting, is very conservative. Trump had plenty of signage, stuff that's hung voluntarily on private property in those conservative, or excuse me, in those progressive counties, Hillsborough and Pinellas. Not only do I not see them now in those two counties, I don't see them in Pasco. I don't see them in Hernando. I don't see them in Polk or Manatee. And I get to all of those counties regularly, and they're not there. I don't give my address out, but like I said, I live in one of those conservative counties. I have a neighbor who's taken his 2020 sign, Trump Pence, cut it in half to get rid of Pence, and just has Trump on his lawn. Now, clearly, that's who he's for, but why didn't he just get a new sign? This is my point. These people don't want to admit they're not better off now. You pay for that sign. They don't just, oh, hey, take my sign. Let's make America great again. Put that fist up, because that's not signaling anything. You pay for that sign in the form of a donation to the campaign. This guy doesn't want to do it. He'd rather cut an old sign in half and phone it in than cough up the 20 or 30 bucks for a new sign. And it's still, I walk every day. It's still there. I see it every day. So where are we at? I just don't think it's going to be as close in the states that, in most of the states that he wins. We'll set up an actual parameter for what color gets what spread. Did he win by 5 points? Did he win by X number of votes? Whatever. And determine just how decisive each one is. by that standard, and we'll use that on election night. And if there's something that's already a standard, by all means, we'll piggyback that. All right, so Florida, barely into Trump, and again, barely into Trump. Why are we having that conversation about Florida, Georgia, and Texas? Colorado, Harris stronghold. That could even be a little darker, but you've also got people like Lauren Boebert there flapping their yap, so let's not be too cocky. Arizona, according to this one, is going to Trump by 2. So that's just, again, it's not far. That is one that Georgia went with blah, blah, blah. Georgia went with Biden, as did Arizona and Nevada. This right now, Arizona is leaning towards Trump. And we don't have any more recent for Utah. We'll scroll through if we find something. This doesn't. I thought this actually had. Let me open up a new tab and see what we can find. I don't need results from 4 years ago. Okay, so here is, they do have something from 5, it's just not on that one page. Wait, did I say Utah? I did, didn't I? That's Nevada. This one's got Harris, 46 to 45.5. Yeah, that's going to be slim. But there's a whole state, there's a whole country, gang, 292 to 246. Even though the owner of this website is saying it's going to be Trump by a landslide. None of his data suggests that. And that, to me, that 50-point spread having 22 electoral votes above what's needed, I think that's rather decisive. And that's what I've been saying. I don't think it's going to be a landslide. I think it's going to be a decisive victory for Democrats in general. People are pissed. And that's one of the things that this guy takes into consideration. This is Alan Lichtman. This is the guy who has predicted the last 10 presidential elections, not including 2024 yet, but up to 2020, he's been wrong one time. We'll talk about that when we come back. There we go. Oh, damn it. Still not working. Well. 99.1 WDJY, America One Radio, and the rest of the Mastiff Media Network. We'll be back after this. Nasty, do you want to freshen it up a little bit? Go to aromabypeter.com. Check out all of Peter's candles. It's what we burn here in Studio Yergs. I'm burning right now leather-scented candle. That's right, leather-scented. So go to aromabypeter.com/Yergs and check out his candles today.
I'm Jane Stahl, retired English teacher, and with my BFF, Susan Bebeck, we manage Studio B Fine Art Gallery in Boyertown, Pennsylvania. We showcase the art of hundreds of local artists, publish books of the poetry, prose, and art of local writers, offer classes, art parties, workshops, discussion groups, cater dinners. We've even hosted a wedding. And we're here to be the go-to place for friendship, learning, and fun. in our community. Virtual tours of our exhibits are available right here on Yerg's Radio. Let us introduce you to some amazing art and artists.
Check out Jane Stahl and everyone at Studio B in Boyertown, Pennsylvania. Please visit our YouTube channel, Talk TV 24. How's your website doing? I'll tell you how mine's doing. It's awesome. Yergs.com is gotta be the best website for anybody in podcasting or any sort of broadcast solo journalist like me. How did I get that? Limit Break Digital. Limit Break Digital did my website with Yergs.com. They did YergerGroup.com. They take care of my marketing, my branding, and help me get the message out to you. Go to limitbreakdigital.com/Yergs for 10% off your next project. That's a $3,000 site, Yergs.com. And you can get 10% off that by just going to limitbreakdigital.com/Yergs today. Talk to Jay. That's my guy. We all got a guy, and Jay's mine. limitbreakdigital.com. I just checked out Instagram. It's actually sounded really good. So this is Alan Lichtman. He is a political scientist from. Let's do it this way. Give him a little bit more size there. He's a political scientist from American, I think. Yeah, and like I said, he has predicted the last 9 out of 10 presidential elections accurately. He called Trump over Hillary. He called Biden over Trump. He's going to tell you who he's calling for this year. The only one he missed is arguably not a miss. And that's because, and we talked about this at the beginning, that's because he chose Al Gore based on the keys that these indicators, and this is what I like so much more. Somebody who doesn't care, he's not telling you who he's voting for, and has the determination and the integrity to remain independent. And as much as everybody wanted Hillary, he chose Trump. He got that one right. The one he got wrong was in 2000, Bush v. Gore, which, as you may remember, came down to a Supreme Court decision. For many reasons, obviously, one perhaps being his own ego, he does not agree with the decision, as many don't, but is what it is. And that is his 1 out of 10. One claim, one prediction out of 10. And, this guy has done it. Why can I not move this one document? There we go. So here's what he's got to say about this year. There it is. There you go. Harris by 8. Why is that? So Harris by 8. There it is. There's the other one. As we said, the guy who owns 538 uh, is saying that it's going to be a Trump landslide. This guy is really 10 out of 10. You saw in that diagram that the one he lost, I told you about, wasn't because of his keys. It was because of a questionable Supreme Court decision. And I say that being one who voted for Bush. Excuse me, not for Gore. So there we go. Debate day. Today's the day. Tonight's the night. We will be back at 7:30 p.m. Eastern, 4:30 Pacific for our pregame for 30 minutes. At 8 o'clock, we turn it over to ABC, where the debate will be. We will be airing the debate on all of our social media and radio networks, except for right now, we will not be with 99.1 in Atlanta. You can still get us on Yerg's Radio, yergz.com. I think I have one for that up here. But you can get us at Yerg's Radio. Just go to any of the usual places where you find all of our links, yergs.com. Mastiff.media should be coming soon. I'll type that in while we're talking. Nope, just still says coming soon. That is going to be another one. And that was supposed to be done by now, so I'm going to have to chew some ass. Where at least you'll be able to get all the links to what's going to be live when it's going to be live. Tonight, 7:30, we're also going to be joined by 1490 WWPR. So if any of the other sites are giving you issue, go to their site. You can listen there. I don't know about their other social media yet. I know they have a Facebook page. I don't know if they have the minimum 100 subscribers to be able to stream to it. And also, I don't know if they have a YouTube channel. So I don't know. But we will be on the air with them tonight, starting at 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific. Go to 1490wwpr.com if you're not in their listening area and you want to join that way. All right, it's time. Morning motivation. Then we're going to wrap up. Again, as a tribute to the late James Earl Jones, today's celebrity is James. One of the hardest things in life is having words in your heart that you can't utter. If you live in an oppressive society, you've got to be resilient. You can't let each little thing crush you. You have to take every encounter and make yourself larger rather than allow yourself to be diminished by it. And as somebody who's gay, living in Trumpville, I think I can relate to that. I have a pride flag that should be hanging out front where the mount was ripped out of the wall. The American flag and the thin blue line, which indicates law enforcement, they're still flying proudly. Nobody touched them. So don't tell me that the wind yanked it out when the other two are still fine. It doesn't make any sense. So, yeah, stay strong. Whether you're a woman running for president, a Democratic woman running against a whacked out white male for U.S. Senate in Florida. Shout out to Debbie, who we're hoping we'll get a few interviews with. We've reached out through their website. We found email addresses. We've hit them all up. We found one new WhatsApp phone number. We're going to try that as well. I mean, it's a phone number, so hopefully it's more than just text. We'll give it a call. We'll give it a text. I'm on WhatsApp. I don't use that for this because it's my personal phone, but I'll use that to contact her and then say, hey, when you win, you going to come back and say hi? We got a U.S. Senator. We got Matt up in Ohio. Hopefully he'll do well. I think he is. I think he is actually doing well. His opponent is screwed because his wife magically moved out of the house in recent months. His wife, whose dad is also running for Senate as a Republican, both of them are MAGA Republicans. He is the Senate race that we talked about earlier today that I don't think he's going to win. I think that's Moreno. And the Democrat's name's slipping my mind, but he's got a solid enough lead. I think he's going to hold on. It's now just up to all of us to flip that House seat in Matt's favor. From our Friday show, Matt Deemer from Daily Crypto News, and from our Friday Up the Middle, our registered Democrat on the team. And yeah, I'm for eliminating the seat of any maggot. And I don't even call them MAGA Republicans anymore. They're not Republicans. Their stance is not the Republican Party. The end. That's it. So, like I said, we're going to end on time today. And we got everything. We did talk about everything. Do some plugs here, and we'll get out of here. You can contact us at news, NEWZ, at yergs.com. Do that. Let us know if there's some type of, one of the things we're slowly bringing back, obviously right now over the next couple of weeks, because we're down into, 2 months, inside of 2 months. It's going to be hard to cover the local news that we're trying to also cover. We'll bring some in. There are 2 stories I'm working on right now. One here in Tampa. We're going to be talking to some county commissioners, some of whom are running against. They're not commissioners yet. And then others who are defending their seat. Also, like I said, we're trying to get Debbie on the horn, and probably not in the studio, but at least virtually, get some video or at least a call in. And finally, up in my home state of Pennsylvania, my hometown of Boyertown, we're looking to cover a story that's just sad. I'm so bummed that it got this far. The famous Boyertown pool has been closed for like the last 2 or 3 years. 2 or 3, pool seasons. It's Pennsylvania, so it's not open all year round. But when it was open in the summer, that was a place to go. You saved up money so you could spend the $80 or whatever it was for a summer pass. And when you got that plastic membership card, your pool pass, you guarded that stronger than your wallet. Well, apparently it's fallen under enough disrepair that the borough cannot manage it. And so it's fallen to, I think we just lost 99.1. We'll see them tomorrow or maybe tonight. But we're covering that, how some local business people have taken over. And now it's just a matter of getting the borough council's approval, signed off by the mayor. And then, these business people will do the repairs on the arm. They're going to do it for free. And then I think the YMCA may be managing it. We'll find out, because I'm going to look into it. All right, guys. We'll see you later tonight, 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific, right here, wherever you're watching us, wherever you're listening, with the exception perhaps of 99.1. I don't know if we're going to be able to get them in time. They've got a bigger schedule, so I don't know that we can cut somebody out. We will be on 1490 starting at 7:30 for the pregame. Then we're going to cover the debate. We're probably going to do some commentary during the course of the debate. And that will also determine who our panelists are joining us. So, yeah, that's it, gang. There's the button for 99.1 telling me I lost them. And we're about to lose all of you. All right. You've been up the middle. Keep talking, gang. We'll see you tonight.